here with Kim Caruso, and Kim is on our ALC, which stands for Agent Leadership Council, which is a high honor because number one, to meet the first requirement is financial, to be in the top 20%. And there's a reason for that. The top 20% are the ones that they're our board of directors, and they're the voice of the agents. And so you want your producers out there that are in the throes of it every day, that knows what's going on, making the decisions and helping. So, and then the other part of it is our culture. You have to be a culture fit. That belief system is how we treat our agents and how our agents treat their clients and customers. And through that, that's what creates the culture that is the foundation here. So criteria, and Kim was invited this year to serve on the ALC. And so we've been really glad to have her. So the committee that Kim chose was KW Cares, and CARE stands for Caring for Associates Relief in Emergency Situations. And I love that KW takes care of their own, and beyond that, the community. So before we get into some of KW Cares and Red Day, I just want to get to know you better, and people get to know you better. And what I like about you is you're just real life. You're in real estate.
In my 7th year right now, and I've always been with Keller Williams. I have a design background and was in outside corporate sales as an architect and interior design specialist. So I called on architects and interior designers to help them specify products for commercial applications. In 2010, I got melanoma and lost the end of my nose, and I had to take some time off from work. Yeah, it all happened in July, and I took like 8 weeks off. And when I came back to work, it changed me. And especially when Christmas came, I took my Christmas decorations out, and I saw all my stuff from my son was 10 at the time.
Oh.
And when I looked at all my Christmas decorations and all his little handprints and all his things, it just hit me. And I was like, there's got to be something that I can do to make the same money and get the same gratification that I did working in the corporate world. I loved all my clients, and I've been with them for years, and they're like family, and I loved the company I worked for. I just knew there had to be something better for me, and I have done better at real estate than I did with any of my other positions. So, and I was able to use all of that to help me be successful with real estate. I want to be able to use my background because that's my passion. That's what I love, So I want to be able to use that. And with real estate, I can, it's just, and people appreciate that value.
You definitely know how to put a house together, and you always look put together. And we've learned at Keller Williams also that you can't judge your insides by somebody else's outsides. And you've been through a lot.
I have been through a lot, and that's one reason why I like our market center so much, because this is not a pretentious place. It seems to me almost like a judge-free zone. It's just, this is family. This has definitely been a place that I needed to land, and me being on ALC, it's been a gift.
Sure.
And I pray that I get to do it next year, because it has really opened my eyes to this company and what this company does and how phenomenal. I went to my first family reunion this year, and I am a talker, and I found myself speechless a lot. It's amazing that it's such a big company, but it's not big at all.
Right. And that's why they call it family reunion. It's impressive. There was 20,000 people there, but you do feel like you're at a family reunion.
Yeah. And you feel like you feel like you're in this big, huge room with all these people, and Gary Keller is right up there, but you feel like he's talking to you. It's I don't know. It is a culture that is just a great place to be. I love it.
It's you pass people in the hall and in classes that are just like you.
Yeah.
They're not, like you said, pretentious.
Yeah. There's not one person that doesn't try to help. I mean, if there's, again, it goes back to the culture. It's just everybody's willing to do something extra for somebody. And that's when we started talking about at the beginning of the year, committees that we were going to do, and I looked at you and said, I got to do KW Cares.
Yeah.
I just, from what I've been through, I just have to do it. And it's.
And I said, why? And she said, because you're okay till you're not okay.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Do you want to say what that's about?
Yeah. On June 24th of 2016, I had 2 closings that day. and my son was playing. He played basketball for high school, and my husband was with him. And I said, hey, I got closings. I'm gonna run by, change clothes, had to go to the office, let the dog out, and then I'll be over to Sanford. He said, I don't feel real good. And I said, okay, all right. So I went on about my business, and I called a little later, and I said, well, I called my son. I said, I'm gonna call, how's Dad? Is he okay? Because he never felt bad. And anyway, long story short, had some friends ended up taking him to the emergency room, and he had a silent seizure. And from that, 4 weeks later, we found out that he had a brain tumor. So after 2 craniotomies, the following couple weeks, we found out that he had malignant glioblastoma malform, stage 4. So, and he passed away 10 months later. We went through chemo and radiation, and I had him on every clinical trial I could get him on. So I know that I did everything I could for him. But he passed away June 23rd, 1 day shy of when everything happened, of 2017. So it's, it'll be 3 years and 2 weeks. And it's hard to believe. And it just gets, I lost my husband, but I lost my best friend.
Going through things like this make us more sympathetic.
Yeah.
And she just looked and said, this is the one that I want.
I had just prayed, because the first year that I was a widow, I submerged myself in the grief, and we made it through. And the second year, McCall kind of submerged himself. Backing up on the day that we got the call that he had a brain tumor, I also got a call from our team doctor that he had a possible fractured back. He had 7, in 10 days, we had 7 MRIs between my son's back and my husband's head.
Oh my goodness.
So he was in a back brace from his sternum to his tailbone for 8 weeks. I kept praying as I was beginning to heal that God would just put me somewhere, would allow me to continue to heal myself, because until I'm with him, I won't be healed. To do something that I knew I could give back to somebody else. If I could just provide 1 minute, a hug, or 1 minute of, I understand what you're going through, I feel your pain, I know it, because it's awful, it's just terrible.
So one of the big projects under the Cative Cares banner is called Red Day. Mm-hmm. And of course, with Keller Williams, everything has a meaning. Yeah. So Red stands for Renew, Energize, and Donate. And that's where Keller Williams offices all across the globe give a day of service. And this year was just a little different, not just here, but all across the globe. Yeah. We were all fighting through COVID-19. So we had to, usually our service projects are very entailed, and we had to find something that could work with COVID.
We chose to do a blood drive, which it was a great something to do that kept us from, that we were able to adhere to all the new rules. I think when we had ours, we had just been released a week prior to even not being homebound anymore.
It just happened that the week that we were doing that was also the height of the blood shortage. Yep. So this was a severe need. And it was good to we were just glad to get out. We spread out, we were outside, we saw each other, we hadn't seen each other in a long time.
I was amazed at how our team just pulled everything together, and we never had a gap. We're coming out of a shutdown, and people are scared. We've never been through anything like this pandemic. And people showed up. Strangers that rode by came in. Can we donate? Can we do something? Can we do something? And we never had a gap. We weren't sure that we would have all the time slots filled up. But this market center rose up, and the people of Alabaster rose up. I mean, it was a great event.
I'm going to tell a story on you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because Kim is just a natural caregiver. I don't think you can help yourself.
No.
That's just who you are. Yeah. We had a lady that drove up to the blood drive, and she said, is this for anybody? And we said, yeah. She said she'd been trying to give blood because she has that negative
that's universal.
And that they really need. So she wanted to give, but everybody was already booked up. She wasn't planning to do that. She just saw the blood mobile. She had 2 little kids. Mm-hmm. And we're like, no problem. We'll watch the kids while you go in the bus. Yeah. And it's a 20-minute process. It was a 2-hour process. What happened?
So this lady pulls up, and she gets out, and this is luckily at the beginning, and she gets out, and she's, can when I donate blood, like you were saying, and her son's right there. And it was really one of the first days that we had really hot, outside. And I said, sure. So we worked her in, got her in the bus. Well, right when they got ready to take after she donated, she got up and got lightheaded. So we were out there taking turns with her kids. They were in the car. They were fine.
Precious kids.
Yes. Yeah. So we kept going, sticking our heads in. Are y'all okay? Yeah, y'all want to get out? And we had snacks and stuff. And so I went, we noticed it had been a while. And so we go in the bus, and she had tried to get up a second time and couldn't get up. So they were giving her crackers and trying to get her better. So, in the meantime, I've got a 19-year-old. I haven't been on mommy duty in a minute. So one comes out, and he's like, I got to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, Lord, what am I going to do? I'm like, so luckily we get that taken care of for him. And they came out, hung out with us. And I went in a couple times to tell the mom, hey, got your boys, they're fine. We got a lot of agents out here who, we all have kids. We're just taking turns. So she gets up and comes out finally, and she gets in the car, and we ask her, Stacy Collins and I both are like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. So she gets in the car, and we notice all of a sudden that she's like laid back. And I go over and I'm like, are you all right? She said, yeah, I just want to lay here for a minute. And for much, she was probably maybe 10 minutes. So she started to get ready to leave, and I said, you can't drive. I cannot, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if something happened to you or your two kids. We are going to drive you home. No, you can't do that. I said, it's not a question. We're going to do this. So Stacy and I followed her in my car, and Stacy drove her car, and we drove her home. We took her upstairs to her house, got her some snacks and Gatorades and stuff. We made sure we watched her go to her room. We didn't, but she went and laid down. We drove back and got right back to work, and we would have done it for anybody else that we needed to. That's
we don't want to scare anybody from going and getting blood, because these are the things everybody does, but things can happen.
Yeah. And she gets all the time. She said it not happened to her much.
Yeah, it is in honor of a lady in our company that added to the culture. She didn't come in the very beginning, but when she came, she took it to another level. And her name is Mo Anderson. She's got this book, The Joy-Filled Life. Mo is now 83 years old. And her birthday is in May. So they purposely put Red Day around the time that her birthday comes as a way of honoring her. And so with COVID and whatever, I know we want to redo. We want to be able to get out there and do a project that we can get dirty and really dig in. So we may do something called
a Mo Red Day.
Mo Red Day.
For more Red Day.
Red Day. In honor of, this is my hero in Keller Williams. But anyway, so we're only halfway through with the year. So talk to people that may be part of our office, or that may think they'd like to be, that this is a real important thing for them. Why would they want to come be on your committee and be part of this? And
to come to KW, this is as close to working, I worked for a Berkshire Hathaway company for years, and they're a Fortune 500 company, and we had all kinds of opportunity. And you get that as a salaried employee. It's mandatory. You have to go to all these meetings, and people dread them, but there's so much good content. And that was one thing that worried me when I went into real estate, was where am I going to go to get that level of sales knowledge, the education that came with me working a salaried position, a good position like that. I was, because I need that. I need to be reinvented. I've got to have that information. And I think that's exactly why I've stayed at Keller Williams for as long as I have. First of all, it's my market center and my family here, because I did lose my husband and go through a bad, I know what KW does. I know what KW Care is, because I've had to receive KW Care. I've had these people bring me quarters so I could get out the parking deck. My family, when I couldn't, because I was taking care of my husband, I know what it is. So that I get to run that culture, or that committee, for even a year means the world to me. But this KW family, I would recommend anybody come to this market center, just because I love it so much. Cares, it's just something that is so close to me, that if I'm not on the ALC and I'm not in charge of this committee again, that I will always be on it, because There's nothing more gratifying than being able to pay something back or pay it forward that was given to you in a time when you have no control of your life. You have no control. You know it's going to be okay, but you are in the storm and you are riding it out. And I survived it, and I'm going to be okay. But this place helped me a tremendous amount. So it means the world to me to be able to do that for somebody else.
I'm personally glad you're here. I love your energy. You appreciate you getting through this interview today, and
Only one
sometimes it's
tissue.
good, but you know, other people need to hear your story,
Yeah.
and other people need, you know, like I said, when they seen Kim Caruso walk through, and she is always put together. She's won the Coco Chanel. Like, did you?
Oh, this is my second year.
Second year in a row, the
Yeah.
best dress. Voted
And
by
that
the
means a
ages.
lot to me now.
Like I said, just because somebody looks like they've got it all together, and we feel like we've got these perfect lives, everybody needs to know that everybody has something that they're struggling with, and that there's somebody, and you just be real.
Well, and I think
So
when
we need to
you
be real.
get humble like that and belly down, people do, and you can share that hey, I've got all this going on too. I'm a nightmare. You know, people are
you're not.
that. Well, you know, some days you feel like that, and it's nice to come to somewhere that says, hey, you might be, and I am too, but let's hold each other up and just keep on going.
That's right.
That's what
We
we do.
appreciate you guys.